All right, the report there by Duncan Hayamba brings us to another part of our discussion this morning. And gentlemen, I mean, the revelation by an IBC commissioner that they do not have money for a runoff. First of all, should we even fear? Because there are critics who say that there probably will not be a runoff. Michael?
Kurgat is a shame. Let me just straightforward. For a commissioner of the IBC to say it will be too expensive, essentially telling us our democracy and its credibility is too expensive. He should be ashamed of himself. He does not fit he's not fit for purpose. It means also he doesn't understand the importance of the role he's holding. So I think they need to release a public apology, whether what he's saying is true or not. But assuming it is true, because I want to assume that he's speaking from a position of authority, his reason and his perception of the importance or cost notwithstanding, I think we have to stop running important events like elections and our institutions like milk kiosks. So whether it is Parliament's failure or the IEBC to ask for it or to budget for it, that goes to the core. When we started off this conversation talking about the trust of our institution. And there are missed opportunities that make us wonder, is it an era of omission or commission? And you don't see a level of seriousness in the people and institutions that are supposed to. This election is symbolic, it's powerful, it's huge. Even if it wasn't, how do we not have a budget for a runoff in a country like this?
And Marcus, let me come to you for the same. I mean, like you mentioned, it is an election, whether big or small, it still is a landmark election in the country. Whose fault would that be? Is it Parliament? Is it IEBC?
You see, I think we need to understand that the responsibility to ask for money lies within the IEBC. And I'm not sure that they asked for the money. I want to assume they asked for the money. And if they were not allocated that money, then that sometimes I have a feeling, really, that we set the commission for failure. We say that the commission is responsible for conduct this election, but also we don't facilitate the commission to conduct that election. And the other thing that I'm asking myself, why would they speak now with 5 days to an election? In these campaigns of either Jubilee or NASA, I've never had this come out. It's a serious concern that there is no allocation, even from an observer's point of view. IBC must be prepared, and prepared means that you also work as though there's a rerun.
Yes.
Even if you, and the impression it creates is that you must ensure that there is a clear winner in the first round. I mean, that's the impression you're creating. Now, what if there is no clear winner?
That's a referee who is telling you there can't be a tie on this match. We have to get a winner.
We have to get a winner. Jesse, your thoughts on this?
It's very worrying, and the reason why Amunga is saying we should not hit IBC of such things. When he says that it's a young commission, I mean, when you are interviewing these people and giving them this office, it was the perception and belief that you are bringing in people who are competent enough, who knows the task ahead of them. Now, when such things are happening, then you wonder, did we get the best this country has to offer to run the elections of this country? Now, failure to allocate money to IBC for a runoff, there is assumption that from Kurgat's statement that these elections must be won and done within round one. So the reverse is true. If it's not round one, then you're telling us you're going to cook figures so that someone wins it on round one because you think it's going to be expensive. I mean, how expensive can it be when Kenyans are being looted of billions of shillings every day, but when it comes to the critical thing where Kenyan voices have to be heard to give mandate to people to govern this country, then you come and say it's very expensive. If it was in the old constitution, Betty, then we will say that all is lost because the president had the powers to dissolve parliament, and once parliament is dissolved, that is it, until the new parliament come in. But with the new constitution, the term of parliament ends on the date of the next election. So if these guys are competent enough, as much as Amunga is trying to defend them, by right now, they should have written to the Speaker of the National Assembly to recall Parliament to pass a supplementary budget for a runoff.
All right.
The quorum that is needed is only 50 MPs, only to pass a supplementary budget. They haven't done that. Total failure and incompetence on the face of Kenya.
All right. Amunga, you've defended IBC. What do you have to say about this?
I don't hold brief for IBC. In fact, IBC needs to come out authoritatively and tell tell Kenyans about this statement that you're talking about. Because by then I've not seen an official statement about the same, but we need to see that statement very officially.
That was Gurgat. That is official statement. How official do you want it to be?
We need him to speak authoritatively about it.
How authoritatively? You want him to jump up?
No,
Come on.
authoritative here means this.
Kurgat is an IBC commissioner. He came out
yes,
with
allow me to
press.
finish. Allow me to finish. He needs to tell us, did they budget for it? Did they press? Did they talk to Parliament about it? That's what I mean. I don't like roadside statements. I want statements that are authoritative and very clear to Kenyans.
Amunga, someone is
Now, let me
addressing
finish
national
up.
media. You're saying
Okay,
roadside.
Amunga,
Okay,
just
let me finish up. Let me finish up.
Amunga, let's finish your point,
Yes,
please.
I want to say this. First of all, the Kenyans should avoid speculation, and including my respected panelists here. We don't need to speculate on behalf of IBC. IBC has spokesmen. IBC needs to make statements about such issues. You see, right now we are starting to speculate that, oh, they are making sure that there'll only be a clear winner here, oh, they are going to do this. These are the statements I keep telling us on this national TV, are making Kenyans to sit on their edge, keep wondering, are we okay? Are we comfortable?
But Amunga, just going back to the issue at hand, if indeed there are no monies allocated for a runoff, then what does that mean?
Betty, let me educate him first before he
Let him give him the right of reply.
Amunga, there is no way any government institution or even the president can spend 1 cent of Kenyan shilling without being passed by Parliament from the exchequer. So right now, if that money is not allocated and there's a runoff, where do you want them to go to get the money? Is Jubilee going to finance them?
All right, Amunga, your final statement.
Yes, my final statement. This is this. Kenyans, there's an election coming on 8th. We have we have independent commissions. We have our parliament, which is supposed to have seen this. This play game that we want to play at the last minute when we are just heading to the election is not good for Kenyans. Let us go for elections on 8th. Let Kenyans have confidence that we are going to have a free, fair, and credible election. Let Kenyans know that there will be peace on 8th of August. Let us not incite Kenyans with statements like these ones. And even I want to urge IEBC.
All right.
These statements that you are making at the last minute like this are dangerous.
All right.
Make statements that are conclusive and authoritative.
All right. Final statements in 30 seconds, Michael.
We have an election to attend to vote. I think Kenyans have done their part. Politicians are making their closing calls. Ultimately, I think every Kenyan has an obligation to show up and vote and meet their civic responsibilities and leave the rest to the institutions that we have given our trust to. Whether diminished or what, we have to still go back and vote. We have to have our civic duty. That's the only way we can have confidence to hold our leaders accountable. I think voting is important.
All right.
Even in the confusion. If you find time, please vote. I wouldn't speak the language of peace. I'll speak the language of justice and fairness.
Marcus, final statements very fast.
That election is the call to free, fair, and credible election is a responsibility of all Kenyans, whether institutions or individual persons. So just as we go out there on Tuesday next week, let us come out to celebrate our fundamental human rights.
All right, Jesse, your final statements, then we wind up.
I'd like to tell Kenyans to be peaceful. Come out on 8th of August and elect the leader you believe in. Let us keep peace and, above all, free, fair, and credible elections. And I hope that on 9th you're going to meet in Canaan.
All right. I will not say anything about that. All right, so we've come to the close of our discussion this morning. I have been speaking to my immediate left, Michael Orwa, who's the governance advisor. I've had Marcus Agenga from ILOG, the Election Observers Group. I've also been having Jesse Odor, who's a lawyer and an analyst, together with Peter Amunga, who's a political analyst. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time. All right.